Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the course Management Information Systems. Today we're going to continue with the same chapter, chapter 10, that is Information and Decision Support Systems. In the last lecture, we were talking about different kinds of functional aspects of the Management Information Systems. We looked at the different functions of the different MIS that were working in the different functional areas of an organization, that is the marketing MIS, we looked at the manufacturing MIS, we looked at the financial MIS, उसके क्या functions हैं, उसके subsystems किस तरह काम करते हैं. Also, we looked at the different functions of the HR MIS, that is Human Resource Management Information Systems. So all the functions that were working, or the subsystems that were working in the functional area MIS were basically about that functional area. For example, financial MIS में हमने देखा था कि it was dealing with the financial information. It was dealing with the profit centers, the revenue centers, the cost centers. It was dealing with all kinds of funds management. So it was providing the operational excellency to the managers that were related with the financial departments. Along with that, we looked at the different manufacturing MIS, and we said that information systems ने अगर तो change किया है a complete concept, a complete functional area को, so that is manufacturing. Manufacturing में computers बहुत हद तक use हो रहे हैं. They are being used not only in the design for computer aided design जिसको हम कहते हैं, but they are also being used in the actual process as well. So design phase से लेके being used in the scheduling phase, they're being used in that as well, and also in the process control phase as well, जिसपे they're being handled by the computer assisted manufacturing or computer aided manufacturing, as well as computer integrated manufacturing as well. That was not only monitoring and controlling the manufacturing process from raw materials to the finished product, but it was looking at the whole manufacturing process right from the order till the shipment of the product. So computer aided integrated manufacturing was monitoring and controlling this whole process. इसके अलावा we were looking at the marketing MIS, and उसमें हमने देखा था that it is providing support and functionality for handling promotions as well as advertisements as well as any other kind of marketing information such as pricing. उन सब चीज़ों को analyze करने के लिए, उन सब information को basically deal करने के लिए और managers को help करने के लिए in organizing that information, ये वाले marketing management information systems use हो रहे थे. इसके अलावा they were being used in HR as well. HR department को help out करने के लिए with the recruiting, with the hiring, with planning the employees according to their skill sets, from job scheduling to job assignment. So all these kind of activities were being helped by or being done by the computerized systems as well through the information systems. इसके अलावा we looked at the different kinds of decision making phases as well. हमने इसके बाद decision support systems को देखना शुरू कर दिया था, and the first thing that we did was defining what are the different types of decisions, जो कि unstructured थे, semi-structured थे, and then structured decisions working at different hierarchical levels in the organization. Then we looked at the different decision making phases as well. For example, the decision making phase first is the problem identification, and then we have the that is the intelligence. Then we looked at design, that was basically looking at the different alternatives available. Then was choice, that was picking out one of the alternative solution, and then implementation and monitoring, that was putting it into action and putting that choice into action, and then evaluating what were results of the implementation. So basically आपका decision making is a sort of a subset of problem solving. So you do the decision making because there is a certain problem and you have to come up with a certain solution to solve that problem. So decision making is basically for problem solving. और बहुत सारे managers or decision makers or executives basically use these decision support systems to solve certain problems, like It is mentioned here, a decision support system क्या चीज़ है? It's an organized collection of people, procedures, software, databases, devices that are used to help the decision makers make decisions that solve problems. So you're not just making a decision just for the sake of a decision, but you are doing that because you have to achieve a certain organizational goal and you need to solve a certain problem. So basically these DSS, your decision support systems, deal with decisions making effectiveness for unstructured, semi-structured business problems basically. So DSS basically कौन से levels पे use हैं, even though they are used at all levels, but basically they are targeted for the semi-structured decisions as well as unstructured decisions as well. So basically वो क्या करते हैं, help किस तरह करते हैं, they bring a certain level of structure into that unstructured business decision, कि वो उनको एक तरह से जो सारे solutions हैं वो आपको दिखा देते हैं, help out कर देते हैं to figuring out the solutions, to come to a better judgment, to basically evaluate in a better way. So these systems help you or aid you in coming up with a proper or a good or a best solution. Right, the benefits of decision support systems kya hai? Again, when you come up with certain decisions quickly, when you solve the problems on time, then you can generate higher profits. You can lower any kind of additional costs that is bringing the company down and produce better products and services as well. Right, sometimes these decision support systems are not only used in simple organizations, profit-based organizations, but they're also used in certain government organizations. For example, police forces may be used हो सकते हैं, as well as certain non-profit organizations. Again, not only because they're not only used for creating profits for a certain company, they can be used to achieve any kind of operational excellency. Even if you are a non-profit organization, then to do their task better, they can take help of the DSS. Again, जिस तरह मैंने कहा था, government organization में police forces जो हैं, they can use the decision support systems again to do their work in a better way. Right जी. Now, decision support systems को हमने एक simple define कर लिया, what they are और उसके फायदे क्या हैं और basically क्या चीज़ है. Again, let me remind you again. Okay, you basically use these systems, and this is not just a simple कोई specialized program है, but basically decision support system क्या करते हैं, different programs को, different databases को integrate कर रहे होते हैं, so that different softwares के जो results हैं, you can see them instantly, you can use that result somewhere else, and basically there are a set of programs that are giving you or helping you to come up with the problem solution. Right, so the basic characteristics of decision support system would be, number one is provide rapid access to information. Now like we said before, rapid access to information, if you remember, हमने पहले भी पढ़ा था that when we were doing the TPS, the transaction processing system, उसमें भी the first point was that it was providing rapid access to information, but that was coming from a centralized database. And the information that is being received from a simple TPS is simple in a textual form. But यहाँ पे decision support system take that information and take that rapidness to one step ahead by saying that it is real time. Real time information आपको receive हो रही होती है with the help of dashboards. If you remember that we talked about dashboards a couple of times before as well. So हमने बात की थी dashboard basically क्या है, जिस तरह आपकी ट्रक या कार में dashboard होता है, that is giving you the performance of the car right there. जिस तरह कार चल रही है, energy fuel उसमें down हो रहा है, speed क्या है, etc. Everything you can see right there on the dashboard. But similarly, an organizational dashboard जो कि एक decision support system provide कर रहा है, that is also providing you the performance in real time as well. आप real time में वो सारी information देख सकते हैं जो भी आपके performance measures आपने देखने हैं. So this is what a computer dashboard is like. So it gives you all kinds of information in the form of graphical or textual information, whatever you require. Right, then second point is handle large amount of data from different sources. Here again, here's the difference again. that information and data is not only coming from a single database, but it can obtain data from database that is on a different computer, on a different network, or even through the internet as well. So it is getting data from different kind of sources so that जो आपका decision making process है वो optimize हो सके. Right, number third is provide report and presentation flexibility. Again, this means that whoever wants to get any kind of report, तो उसी के accordingly वो reports उनको दिखाता है, get information in the format that suits the other person's needs. So अगर manager की need इस तरह की है that he needs the information on the computer screen, then the availability is there to see the information on the computer screen in a certain format, or it can be printed out as well. Then again, the information that is presented again on the dashboard, like I said, is either in textual, graphical representation. That means textual information bhi ho sakti hai. Graphical information means it could be tables, it could be pie charts, bar charts, different kinds of charts, trend lines. So anything that is preferred by that manager or by the executive is, or by the top manager level person, then it can be customized or suited to that person's needs. Also, agar ye jo graphical representation ke charts, pie charts and all these kind of things, these can be simple outputs of an Excel sheet as well. So they can get the information from any kind of small program as well, such as an Excel, which is basically a very strong tool when it concerns concerning the business tool. Then number fifth is it supports the drill down analysis. Again, drill down analysis हमने पहले भी पढ़ा था that drill down means that you can go into the detail of a certain event or a certain situation. So किसी भी चीज़ का detail के अंदर जाने के लिए you can again use the decision support systems have the ability to look into a detail of a certain thing. For example, if you want to have a look at the project, that this is how a project is going on, you can have a look at the phases, you can have a look at the different activities in that phase. You can even go down to the different tasks that were given to different people of a certain activity. So you can drill down into that certain event. The sixth one is perform complex, sophisticated analysis and comparisons. So with the help of these decision support systems, what do they do? To perform the complex, sophisticated analysis as well as comparisons as well. So, like I said before, that there are different programs that are part of the DSS. So the DSS basically brings together different standalone programs and integrates their results and their data together so that they can all become part of a decision support system. Then the last point is it supports optimization, satisficing and heuristic approaches. Again, the कौन से approaches थे? These were the decision-making approaches. Like I said before, that the computer systems can use these approaches to come up to that choice phase जो हमने बताया था, to come up with a solution to a problem. So that the managers can get the flexibility of actually using any of these kind of approaches. So इसके अलावा they also provide you the what if analysis, जिसको हम कहते हैं what if analysis means कि आप theoretically या hypothetically जिसको आप कहते हैं hypothetical आप एक idea पेश करते हैं. What if this happens, then what will be the result of a certain event? So you can also do the what if analysis on the data and information to come up to a certain solution as well. इसके अलावा I also talked about when we were talking about the computer aided design में हम बात कर रहे थे simulation की as well. उधर भी हमने बात की थी simulation. Decision support systems also provide you the facility of simulation. That is, simulation basically क्या है? It's just an imitation of the real environment, so or a real system. So for example, if in a real environment a certain thing happens, like I gave you the example of a bridge, if in a real-time environment, if you create a bridge, उसके ऊपर कितना weight आना चाहिए, उसके ऊपर air friction कितनी है, different kind of environmental factors, उसके ऊपर कौन से effect हो सकते हैं. So all those kind of factors and environment can be simulated on the computer as well, so that instead of creating a wrong kind of bridge, you are basically testing the bridge with those real parameters. And those real parameters are again converted in the form of a mathematical form, so that calculations different hoti hain, and it's all mathematical calculation that if this amount of intensity का weight एक bridge के ऊपर जा रहा है, then what will be the reaction of that bridge, और उसका जो उन्होंने model किया है, is that going to sustain that weight or not, or is that going to sustain those environmental hazard or not. So there are different situations that can be simulated even in a computerized environment, and that would be an imitation of the real system as well. इसी तरह there are military companies again, वो simulation use करते हैं to simulate different kinds of techniques that can be used in certain circumstances. Again, marketing के अंदर भी decisions use हो सकते हैं, marketing decisions में भी simulation use हो सकती है. For example, launching a product in a certain marketing environment or in a certain marketing environment, then what will be the reaction of the market or the customers. So there are different things, different simulations that are extremely used in the business environment to figure out that, again, it would be a combination of the what if, again, that will tell you that if this situation occurs, what will be the result of the people, or what will be the result of the product, या जो भी आप product create कर रहे हैं, वो react किस तरह करेगा in a certain situation. Right, so these were the characteristics of the decision support system. That is कि एक कोई भी decision support system होगा तो it will be providing you these characteristics or these functions. Now let's move on to the capabilities of the decision support system. That is कि when you have a decision support system, then what is it capable of? Characteristics उसके हो गए कि decision support systems जो हैं वो ये functions करते हैं. Capabilities means that what does it support? That जब वो आपको decision making में help कर रहा है, when it is basically helping the managers in decision making, तो वो किस level के ऊपर help कर रहा है. Number one is it supports for problem solving phases. Problem solving phases हमने define किए थे in the decision making process, that it helps in identification, it helps in intelligence, in design, in choice, implementation and monitoring. So basically whenever you are creating a DSS, so DSS create करने के लिए it is up to you that where do you want to support. Either you want to support at the intelligence phase, either you want to support at the design phase, at the choice phase or the implementation phase. So it gives the decision maker flexibility in getting the required computer support. Then it provides support for different decision frequencies. Decision frequencies means the rate at which a certain kind of problem arises throughout the company's history. So there are different kinds of frequencies of a decision or a problem. For example, there are two kinds of DSS required for that. Ad hoc DSS जो है वो handle करता है one of the kind decision को that can happen once or twice throughout the company's lifetime, or even once a year or something like this. So that is the ad hoc DSS that deals with those kind of conditions. Then we have the institutional DSS. That means it handles the kind of decisions that are repetitive decisions that might happen multiple times in a day as well. Multiple times in a day, for example, a computer might crash, computer problems जो हो सकते हैं, that could be the that can happen multiple times in a day. So to look after that kind of problems, the institutional DSS is adopted. Example क्या हो सकती है repetitive decisions की, that for example computer related problem that can occur multiple times. और इसी में एक concept आ जाता है that once these problems occur, तो वो उनको handle किस तरह करता है. The DSS basically monitors the computer processing. So whenever a problem is coming up or a problem occurs, then it can sort of analyze the problem and try to solve the problem on its own. और यही वाली बात, if you remember, we talked about this before as well when we were talking about the emerging technologies. We talked about autonomous computing. Autonomous computing का भी यही concept था that there are certain systems that are implemented on the computers that are going to monitor the performance of the computers and think of or try to solve the problem on its own. जिसमें हमने antiviruses की example दी थी कि जो ही virus आता है, if the antivirus is updated, then antivirus systems tries to eradicate the virus or quarantine the virus or delete the virus on its own. So this is basically again a capability of the decision support systems that they can monitor something and try to solve the problem on their own as well. Then we have the support for different problem structures. Again, problem structures कौन से थे? Unstructured था, semi-structured था, and structured problems. So from highly structured problems to semi-structured and different kinds of unstructured problems, it provides support for all kinds of decision making. In the end, it provides support for various decision making levels as well. Decision making levels means that आपके organization की hierarchy में we have the operational level, we have the tactical level, we have the strategic decision level. So operation level के ऊपर it can help you in achieving the routine tasks as well. It can assist with the daily and routine decision making. It can also assist with any kind of tactical decision that is done by the middle management, and it can also assist in the strategic decision making that is done by the top level management, which is basically concerned with the unstructured decision making or unstructured problems. So these are the capabilities of the decision support system के एक तो ये कि वो different phases के ऊपर आप decision support systems की help ले सकते हैं. Different kinds of decision जो problems होते हैं उनके लिए आप support ले सकते हैं. Different problem structures के लिए आप decision support systems की support ले सकते हैं. So they can help the decision making basically throughout the organization at different management levels as well. Now here, if you want to, for example, compare it with the management information system, because you might find it a bit confusing कि managers management information systems भी use कर रहे हैं और decision support systems भी use कर रहे हैं. तो let me give you a slight comparison of management information systems. Again, management information systems की बात करते हुए हमने ये बोला था that they basically help the managers do their routine tasks and achieve operational excellency there. So routine task का क्या मतलब है? That they are basically helping the managers do the structured decisions. So MIS was basically related with structured problems, whereas the DSS है that goes a step further and it also includes the semi-structured as well as unstructured problems as well. Also MIS की जब हमने बात की थी, management information systems की बात की थी, then they were basically it consists, अगर उसमें कोई थोड़ी बहुत decision making हो रही है, then that is automatic decisions and it was basically replacing the decision makers there. So the reports generated or any kind of problem solving was not simply supporting the management, but they were actually providing them the answers. But like I said, in the decision support systems, it does not take over the decision of the decision makers. It only supports the decision maker. Decision making जो है वो automatically नहीं हो रही है. It is only assisting them in the different phases of the problem solving or in the different phases of the decision making. It is not basically giving you a sort of a decision on its own. Also, when we talk about the management information systems, then management information systems are basically there more about providing the information in the form of reports, summaries, comparison. So it is more information centric, whereas decision support systems are more decision centric. So they are basically catering towards using the different decision making models and the different decision making phases as well. Also, the very interesting difference between DSS and MIS is that MIS was just जब हमने उसके outputs की बात की थी, then we said that it is basically dependent on reports. और reports हमने क्या देखा था? Okay, they were schedule reports, exception reports, and these kind of reports. And these reports were not real time. DSS output can be real time as well. Like when we talked about the dashboard, then we said this dashboard information can be the performance measured in real time as well. So these are 3-4 different differences जो मैं आपको वैसे ही बता रही हूँ, so that your idea is clear about the MIS and DSS. So MIS is more information centric, more automatic, more about reports that are generated, giving managers the information for control and coordination as well as organizing. Whereas DSS is more about supporting the decision making process. It is about supporting the managers to come to a decision while giving them the real time information of the performance measures. Alright ji, now let's next move on to the components of the decision support systems. जब हम basically components की बात करते हैं in a decision support system, so we're going to say that it is the two approaches that are used for decision in the decision support system. So one approach is basically, we call it the data driven approach, and the other approach is basically model driven approach. अब पहले मैं आपको सिर्फ एक figuratively बता दूंगी कि what are the components that are involved in both these approaches. So number one is data driven approach में the information received is in the form of database. So basically इसमें जो data जो लाया जा रहा है decision support system में, that is in through the database, and from here the data comes from the model base. What are the two systems being used here? DBMS is working at the center. So this is again one decision support system, and there are different approaches that are being used here. So at one end a DBMS is being used, at the other end a management, at the other end we have the model management software, the model management system being used here. So it is taking data from the database, it is taking data from the model base, and apart from all that, it is also taking data from the external database. It is also taking data from the external databases, but we are going to differentiate by saying that this is basically concerned with the internet or the company intranet. And then another component of the decision support system is the user interface, और जिसको dialog manager बोल दें या dashboard बोल दें. So this is basically the user interface. So the user is basically interacting with this user interface and using any of the decision support system approaches, either through the help of the DBMS or model management software, to get any kind of data. So if it's using this part of the system, then that approach is called the data driven approach, and if it's using this part of the system, then that is called the model driven approach. Now let's have a look at data driven approach or model driven approach में basically what's the difference between these two approaches. So basically data driven approach में क्या है, the DBMS use हो रहा है, database management system use हो रहा है, and that is used for qualitative analysis. So when it's getting data from the database, तो वो जो data use हो रहा है, that is being used for the qualitative analysis. And the techniques that are being used for this kind of analysis is either through data mining or business intelligence. आगे हम जाके देखते हैं कि when decision support system में business intelligence का concept आ जाता है, then what do we mean by that? So basically, data-driven DSS use the company's databases for retrieving information on inventory, sales, personnel, means जो लोग काम कर रहे हैं, as well as production, accounting. So different kinds of information that is placed in the database, वो सारी information ले रहे हैं. और it is using the techniques called data mining and business intelligence to do the qualitative analysis and come to a certain solution. For example, we have the data-driven medical decision support systems are used to allow doctors to have access to complete patient record. So online DSS भी होते हैं जिनमें basically patients अपना सारा history online रखते हैं, अपना सारा जो history है वो type in कर देते हैं so that they can have a complete database of the patient, and the doctors can basically look at that decision support system, take help from that decision support system which has the complete history of a person to basically diagnose a problem or come to a solution, okay, what is wrong with a certain person. Now these kind of databases, again, like I said, take data from external sources such as the internet as well as the corporate intranet as well. So different networks से भी information लाके और internet के through भी information लाके वो combine करके they basically help in the decision making process. Right, and next we have the model base. Model base से अगर data आ रहा है through the help of model driven DSS, then this is performing the quantitative analysis. Quantitative analysis means that it is performing the analysis through mathematics and by doing the qualitative analysis. So mathematically or models use करके जो analysis create हो रहा है, that is the output of the model driven DSS. It gives decision makers access to a variety of models so that different scenarios can be explored mathematically. ठीक है, models and algorithms used in these kind of model driven DSS are constantly revised as well. So for example, अगर एक आपका model या कोई भी mathematical way of finding a solution जो है वो obsolete हो रहा है या सही नहीं है, then they are constantly revised and changed for optimal performance. Then the system working here is the model management software, is basically used to coordinate the use of models in the decision support systems. So at one end you have the qualitative analysis going on, at this end you have the quantitative analysis going on with the help of different mathematical analysis and models being used here. Now, so whatever the result that comes out of these both approaches, either that is the data-driven decision approach or the model-driven decision approach, उन सब का result जो है वो user interface के ऊपर नजर आ रहा है. So that is the dialog manager or the dashboard, which allows users to interact with the background DSS, and it's also called the dialog manager and dashboard. Again, graphical user interface की तरह की चीज़ है. Like we said, it shows textual information, graphical information, and whatever the information the manager or the executive needs, all that kind of information is shown on the screen in their preferred format as well. Right, data-driven approach में हमने example दी थी of the medical record कि अगर patient को diagnose करना है, the doctors can use the data-driven, that is the qualitative analysis, to figure out or diagnose a problem, as well as when we're talking about the model database, that is the model-driven approach, and the quantitative analysis, then we have the example of Procter & Gamble, that is basically using this model-driven approach of decision support system to streamline how the raw materials and the finished products are moving from one place to another, either from the suppliers to the customers. So it's basically streamlining the whole supply chain in a way with the help of the model-driven approach. Okay, let's talk about business intelligence now. We talked about this business intelligence जब हम databases वाला chapter भी पढ़ रहे थे, and we related it with and we said that business intelligence can be achieved with the help of data mining, data marts, etc. We can use these techniques for achieving business intelligence. Now, what is business intelligence? हम ये term क्यों use कर रहे हैं? And basically a term, this was created by the vendors and the IT consultants. Vendors कौन? Of the hardware and software vendors जो business tools create कर रहे थे, लेकिन वो tools इसलिए create कर रहे थे to achieve a certain competitive intelligence or to achieve a certain competitive advantage. So basically business intelligence में जो चीज़ें use हो रही हैं, these are basically hardware and software tools जो कि businesses can use these tools to achieve a certain competitive intelligence. So आपकी business intelligence तो ये term use हो रही है basically, that is not a certain कि आप एक, it's not magic that you're going to use it in a system और आपका system एकदम intelligent हो जाएगा, नहीं. These systems, this means that you can use a certain tools in a better way, and you should know how to use these tools to achieve a certain competitive edge. So basically these business intelligence is basically an infrastructure for warehousing, integrating, reporting and analyzing data from the business environment. So infrastructure means कि आपके पास different kinds of hardware, software, databases, all these kind of tools and techniques are there for warehousing, for integrating different kinds of data, for better reporting, for better analyzing the data that they take from the business environment. So IBM, for example, gave a definition that business intelligence क्या है? It's basically an umbrella term. Umbrella term means कि it's a covering term that encompasses or combines architecture, tools, databases, analytical tools, applications and different methodologies all together, and calls that package a business intelligence tool or business intelligence. So it's basically an umbrella term जिसमें architecture use हो रहे हैं, tools use हो रहे हैं, databases use हो रही हैं, analytical tools use हो रहे हैं, applications use हो रही हैं, softwares use हो रहे हैं, and the methodologies that are used with all those hardware and software components, all that makes up a business intelligence component. So when we talk about the business intelligence, so that means there are lots of things that are involved in the business intelligence and not just databases. So what is included in that business intelligence environment? This is what it is. So this is a complete business intelligence environment जो आपके सामने यहाँ पे figure में नजर आ रहा है. So as you can see that in the definition we said that it consists of all these tools, analytical tools, techniques, architectures, etc., databases. Why? That are manipulating the data that is coming from the environment. So this is the data that is coming from the environment. Business environment क्या है? It's coming from the call centers, it's coming from different websites, different kinds of mobile devices, blogs, stores, suppliers, government and employees, etc. So either it's coming through mobile devices, either it's coming through the internet, and these are basically used to do the decision making, not only for structured decision making but also unstructured and semi-structured decision making as well. Right, so here's what we have. We have the data that is coming from the environment here. So this is the environment जहाँ से that whole organization is receiving the data. Now next component is the business intelligence infrastructure. So this infrastructure consists of the different kinds of databases that are being used in the organization. That also consists of the different kinds of warehouses that are being used in the organization, which not only consists of the transactional databases, but it also consists of the integrated databases, that is कि TRP से जो data जा रहा है into the database from the transaction processing systems, and the data that is being taken in from the ERP systems as well. So that data is also present here. Also the different kinds of interrelated data marts that are working in the organization as well. So like we said, the data marts were basically related with certain functional areas, and they were providing you a detail about a certain functional area. So अब infrastructure में क्या चीज़ आ गई है, एक databases आ गए हैं that the business intelligence environment includes. So the databases is coming from different external sources as well as the TRPs as well as the ERPs. So all of this data is again being taken in for the business intelligence purposes. Now, the tools, what are the tools that are used for the business intelligence, या जिसको हम business analytics भी बोलते हैं, that consists of different kinds of statistical models being used, mathematical models being used, data mining use हो सकती है, analytical processing use हो सकती है, again production reports use हो सकती है. So there are different tool sets that can be used. Again, there is no such thing as these tools intelligently using themselves, but it is up to the managers how well they can use these tools for creating a competitive intelligence or for creating a business intelligence for their businesses. So again, managerial users and methods, again these managers use these kind of tool sets for setting up a business strategy, for doing the business process management, जिसको हम BPM एक term होती है वो बोलते हैं, for creating a balanced scorecard, for forecasting. So they can use these tools to do their certain managerial tasks as well. So आपके business intelligence में सिर्फ databases नहीं आ रही, but the tools as well as this we would call as the methodologies. That how are the tool sets being used, for what managerial purposes are they being used. Now, whatever data that is being generated here, again, is used on a certain platform. Either that is being used in the MIS as information, or DSS as supporting the decision support systems for managers, or as executive information systems या executive support systems for added strategic level के ऊपर जो decisions होनी है उनके लिए वो data use हो रहा है. Again, that data is being displayed to the users in the form of reports when it comes to MIS, or dashboards or scorecards when it comes to the DSS, or through the help of either in the form of desktop or on the mobile screens or web portals or social media or any kind of technique that is being used as a user interface. So then all these kind of techniques, methodologies, tools, architectures, all infrastructure, all of this combines to make up a certain business intelligence. So business intelligence is not just about a certain tools that are intelligent, but it's about the whole system that can be used to achieve a certain competitive advantage, to achieve a certain intelligence in the business. So these systems again are a very crucial part of the decision support systems, because again आपके business intelligence environment में जो technologies use हो रही हैं, जो processes use हो रहे हैं, methodologies use हो रही हैं, वो सब चीज़ें help कर सकती हैं in creating a certain decision or helping you in achieving a certain decision. Okay, decision support systems की हमने बात की. We said that decision support systems are used to help the managers come up with a certain solution to a certain problem. लेकिन let's talk about the group support systems या GSS या इनको हम GDSS बोलते हैं. That means that a group में जब decisions होते हैं तो फिर वो किस किस्म का system use करेंगे. And usually when the managers are working, then usually the managers work in a group. They work on a certain project in a group, or they come to a certain decision in a group. So the system being used here is the GSS. Decision support systems, yes, they are good for individuals, but they are not suitable to work in a group form because वो सारे group के members का input नहीं ले सकते. So this is the drawback of the DSS. For this purpose, we have the group decision support systems, which have the features of the DSS plus the additional features of working in a collaborative manner. So Some strategic level managers are involved in decisions in a group setting as well. So these kind of systems are there to support the decision making when it happens in a group or in a collaborative form, or when people are sitting in a meeting. How do they come up to a unanimous decisions? So these systems basically help in doing so. So GDSS के different जो characteristics हैं, these are special design. Special design means के it has procedures that foster creative thinking, effective communication, and good decision making techniques. So it gives you the features that allows you to do creative thinking when you're in a group, then effective communication again when you're in a group, and good decision making techniques when there are multiple people involved. इसके अलावा it allows you ease of use. Again, these systems, when the multiple people are using it, then that means कि different levels of skill sets होंगे different लोगों के, and these have to be very easy to use so that people can utilize them in the good decision making process when working in groups. Then another feature or the characteristics of the group support systems is that it provides flexibility. Flexibility means that along with supporting different decision making styles, जिसकी हमने बात की थी कि decision making किस किस्म के different styles हो सकते हैं, unstructured या structured, but also integrates different perspectives as well. So not only it caters to the different decision making cognitive styles, लेकिन different perspective as well, because different लोगों के different experiences होते हैं और different styles होते हैं decision make करने के. So that's why it needs to support the different kinds of cognitive styles as well as the different perspectives as well. Next characteristics of the GSS is decision making support. That is, it supports different techniques like brainstorming, group consensus, and nominal group technique. That means when एक तो हमने बात की थी ना decision making जब होती है तो different individuals की जो होती है वो different तरह से होता है. अगर एक इंडिविजुअल अपनी डिसीजन मेकिंग सोच रहा है, अपने माइंड में ही सोच रहा है, then there is a different cognitive process that is going on. When decision making happens in a group, that means you have to put down your ideas as well, and people have to listen to those ideas, and they have to come up, और उस idea से दूसरा idea generate होता है. So there are different kinds of methods of doing group decision making. One of the technique is brainstorming. That means whatever comes into your mind, you put it on the table. So चाहे वो initial sense में कोई बहुत ही वेग किस्म का आइडिया है, या फिर बहुत इस किस्म का आइडिया कि लोग उसको कहें कि this is just impossible, या this is a crazy idea. So whatever that comes into your mind, you put it on the table. So that is called brainstorming. So that उस आइडिया को फिर refine करके people can come up with a proper defined idea. Then is group consensus. Group consensus में क्या होता है कि different ideas होते हैं लोगों के, but people are sort of forced to actually come up with a unanimous decision. They have to come up with a unanimous decision. Nominal group technique में क्या होता है? Again, people give their own kind of feedback, people give their own comments, own ideas, etc., etc. And there is a voting procedure that, okay, 50% vote, 40% vote for this, and 60% vote for this, and we have to come up with again maybe a group consensus afterwards. So this is what happens when you're working in a group. There are different people, different ideas, different perspectives, different ways they can look at a different problem. So which is basically, at times, group decision making is the best solution to a certain problem, because there are different people who can give in their input, and उसके different scenarios, what if analysis वगैरह सारे उसी वक्त जो हैं वो analyze हो सकते हैं. Right जी, GSS also allows you to do parallel communication. Means जो comments होते हैं, decisions होती हैं, discussion होती है, वो immediately display हो सकती हैं. जब आप and that happens with the help of computers. Again, let me say that we are talking about the characteristics when you're using the computers, you're using a certain system. So, जब आप face-to-face communication कर रहे हैं, या अगर आप सिर्फ बात कर रहे हैं, then two people cannot talk at the same time. So when you're using a certain system or you're using typing information, then multiple people can type at the same time, and the information or the comments can come on the screen so people can have a look at it instantly. Right, next we have the automated record keeping. Again, these systems, because there is a lot of information being generated throughout the meeting, so discussions are automatically stored for future reviews and analysis as well. So these systems have the capability of automatically recording the either it's in the textual form or in the form of voice, so different information is integrated and a record is kept for further analysis as well. Right, different kinds of GSS softwares be available, and again we can I've talked about collaboration as well before. So basically aapke GSS can be used with the collaboration tools to again improve the process of collaboration and improve the process of decision making in the collaborative environment and in the group meeting environment. So softwares, again, we almost softwares, and we have Autodesk, we have Lotus Notes, we have Office Communicator and Net Meeting that is given by the Microsoft with the Microsoft. So these are basically standalone softwares that can be used for these purposes. However, some softwares can be incorporated in the TPS and ERPs as well. So कुछ softwares ऐसे हैं जो कि companies integrate कर सकती हैं अपने transaction processing systems और enterprise planning system में, enterprise resource planning systems में, so that they can allow you to take in the data from these sources, and if they need to make a decision on the data that they are getting from these resources, so that would be easier for them to do so. Right, then we talk about the executive support systems. ठीक है, हमने MIS की बात की, हमने decision support systems की बात की, उसमें हमने बात की कि when decisions are made in a group, we have the systems called the GSS. Now we're going to talk about the very top level management. That is all about strategic planning, it's all about strategic control, it's all about strategic problem solving, and it is basically all about goal oriented approaches. So executive support systems are specialized DSS, again decision support systems here, lekin specialized, and that includes hardware, software, data, procedures people use to assist senior level executives in the organization. Again, decision support है, लेकिन किन लोगों के लिए senior level के ऊपर, and it is a means of tracking critical success factors as well, allows executives to ask the right questions. Basically at the lower level जब ये systems काम करते हैं, they basically give you the support of answering to a certain question. इस level के ऊपर they allow the executive to ask the right questions to come up to a certain decision or to solve a certain problem. Again, they have the similar characteristics that are part of the DSS as well, जो कि drill down ability and ease of use है. They also provide support the need of external data. So that means they can get data from the external sources as well, help with situations that have high degree of uncertainty. Again, this is the added functionality of the executive support systems के high degree of uncertainty जिस situation में हो उनको support करते हैं. Have a future orientation, again long term goals अगर define करने हैं executive ने, then इसकी capability है, are linked with value added business processes as well. So for example, they want to add value to a certain business process or to a product, to a service, then how are they going to come up to a decision of doing so? These systems help the executives come up with that solution, come up with a solution, or help them to solve that problem as well. Now, let's have a look in detail about the capabilities of the executive support systems. Number one is it has a support for defining overall vision. Again, like we said that when the executives basically are all about defining the goal of an organization, defining the long-term objectives of the organization. So organizations, for example, major product lines क्या होंगी, types of business introduce करने हैं या नहीं करने, to support in future, what are they going to support, business processes they're going to support in the future. So these kind of decisions that the executive needs to make, that basically cater to the vision of the organization, that in the next 5 years this is where I visualize the company to be, and these will be the objectives or goals of the organization. So this is again supported by the executive support systems. Next, it supports, it has a support for strategic planning. That means again determining long-term objectives by analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of the organization and predicting future trends as well. So it has the ability to help the executive analyze the strengths and the weaknesses of the organization, as well as like we said, it has a future orientation, so it can also predict the future trends as well. Again, there are predicting softwares that are being used here as well. Then we have the support for strategic organizing and staffing. That is, it has support for creating of departments, downsizing labor, and analyzes changes related to staffing. So that means, for example, either the company has the budget, or it is going to be profitable to create any kind of new department, or what will be the impact of the downsizing the labor, and what will be the impact of any kind of changes that you do in the staffing or throughout the company. Then it analyzes the changes as well. Next, we have the support for the strategic control. That is, it provides support for monitoring and managing overall operations of the organization. So basically, executive ka kaam hi yahi hai. Number one is, it is providing the company with a vision. It is doing providing the company with the overall objectives. It is doing the strategic organizing of the company, as well as monitoring the company on the whole. So it provides the ability for strategic control of the organization. Now, the very, very important one is the support for crisis management. That is, that these systems help the executives handle emergencies that are caused by disasters. So there can be natural disasters that can affect on the architectural systems or equipment of the organization. Then it also helps the executives in the contingency planning or the emergency handling planning. So what will be the steps that will be required by the organization if a certain problem occurs. So that is again done by the executives of the company, that they have to decide that this will be the contingency plan, this will be the emergency plan, and we need to these are the business processes that need to be shifted somewhere else. These are the systems that need to be replicated and kept somewhere else. So information systems again help a lot when it comes to the executive level, that they help the organization in making the contingency plans. And so that's why strategic emergency plans can be put into place with the help of an ESS. Right, so these are the capabilities of the executive support systems, because these cater towards the strategic level decision making जो कि required होती है for an executive at the top level. Alright जी, in this chapter we were talking about the different kinds of information and decision support systems. जिसमें हमने, first of all, we talked about the information system that were working at the very lowest level of the organizational hierarchy, that was at the operational level, जिसमें हमने बात की थी transaction processing systems की, and we said that these are the systems that are concerned with capturing, processing, and updating the databases that are related with the routine and daily tasks. So next we talk about the management information systems, that were the information systems working at the middle management level or different functional areas of the management, जिसमें हमने different functional areas की बात की थी, that we have the marketing MIS, we have the manufacturing MIS, we have different kinds of we have HR MIS as well. So MIS basically, what are these? Their outputs were basically providing reports to the managers for controlling, organizing, and planning the different routine tasks. So they must provide the right information to the right person at the right time in the right format. So this was a basic tagline of the management information systems, and this is what their purpose is: provide information in the form of summaries reports, comparisons, or different kinds of tables so that the managers can do their task in the right way. Next we move on to the decision making, जिसमें हमने decision making process को define किया था, and we said that understanding decision making process is the key to developing effective decision making. Once you have an understanding that the decision making is going to work through these kind of phases, you can work together with the information system analysts to basically develop your own decision making systems. Then we talked about the decision support systems, and we said that they are usually used in situations with unstructured or semi-structured decisions are required. So, जिस area में ज़्यादा unstructured or semi-structured decision making required है, DSS are basically there to support that decision making mechanism. Then we talked about the GDSS are basically there in achieving decision making with collaboration. So when you're working in a collaborative environment, these have the components of their DSS again, but they have the added components of the group decision making as well. Then we talked about the higher level support systems or the decision support systems that are working in a specialized way at the top management level, and we said that these are the executive support systems or executive information systems that perform sophisticated data analysis in high degree of specialization because they cater to the executive level strategic planning, strategic organization, crisis management, as well as complex problem solving that is required at the strategic level, that is the topmost top management level. So these were the different kinds of information systems that were helping the people do their task better. If it's either it's decision making, either it's just getting the information, either it's looking after the different transactions that are going on at the operational level. So these are the systems that are basically working at different levels of the organization to help the managers, the operational level employees, the middle management, as well as the top management to do their task in a better way, which include the TPS, which includes the management information system, which includes the DSS, the GDSS, as well as the ESS. So this is all what we did in this chapter. We talked about the information systems. So this, in the next chapter, we're going to talk about the knowledge management, that how is knowledge management going to help the knowledge workers again. Again, these knowledge management के जो concepts हैं, these are again useful for the middle management here again, in doing the tactical decisions for the knowledge workers that work at the middle management level, and how this knowledge management affects databases, affects the information that is circulated throughout the organization as well. So this is what we're going to talk about in the next chapters. In the next chapter or in the next 2 lectures, we're going to talk about the knowledge management. So this is all for today. We're going to meet in the next lecture with a new chapter, and we're going to end this chapter here today. Thank you very much.